In a high-profile diplomatic effort, Chinese President Xi Jinping embarked on a week-long tour of Southeast Asia, visiting Vietnam, Malaysia and Cambodia. The trip, which saw Xi welcomed with grand ceremonies, was not merely a display of soft power but a strategic maneuver aimed at fostering regional solidarity against what China perceives as U.S. protectionism, particularly in light of reciprocal tariffs imposed by Washington. During his visit to Hanoi, Xi was met with enthusiasm as children waved flags at the presidential palace, while in Kuala Lumpur an honor guard performed a 21-gun salute in his honor. The visit culminated in Phnom Penh, where King Norodom Sihamoni broke protocol to greet Xi at the airport. These gestures of camaraderie underscored China's desire to reinforce its influence in the region and build a united front against perceived external pressures. In his discussions with leaders from these nations, Xi's rhetoric centered around themes of unity and resistance against unilateral bullying. In Vietnam, he emphasized the need for collective action against what he described as unilateralism. In Malaysia, he reiterated the importance of countering protectionist sentiments, and in Cambodia he warned that trade wars pose a significant threat to the multilateral trading system. Observers noted that the overarching message from Xi's speeches was a clear positioning of China as a counterbalance to U.S. economic strategies, even if the U.S. was seldom explicitly named. The main message that was being sent is that China will be the counterbalance to America's protectionism, remarked Dylan Low, an assistant professor of foreign policy at Singapore's Nanyang Technological University. This trip, according to analysts, was designed to solidify trust and cooperation with Southeast Asian nations, an area deemed strategically vital for China's aspirations in the face of U.S. tariffs. While the tour was marked by a spirit of celebration and cooperation, it also highlighted the complex dynamics at play in the region. Each Southeast Asian nation has its own unique relationship with China and varying responses to U.S. policies. As Xi seeks to position China as a leader in regional trade and diplomacy, the effectiveness of his overtures will depend on his ability to address the individual concerns of these countries while maintaining a unified stance against external pressures. As the geopolitical landscape evolves, Xi's Southeast Asia visit could pave the way for deeper economic ties and cooperative frameworks that challenge U.S. dominance in the region. However, the long-term success of these initiatives will hinge on how well China can navigate the diverse interests and aspirations of its Southeast Asian neighbors. Looking ahead, the unfolding events in Southeast Asia will undoubtedly be a focal point as global tensions escalate. Xi's tour signals not only a charm offensive but also a calculated strategy to reinforce China's influence as a key player in the region, setting the stage for future developments in international trade and diplomacy amid ongoing U.S.-China rivalry. In the ever-complex narrative of Chinese identity, the quest for belonging often collides with political realities, as vividly illustrated in Emily Fang's newly released book, Let Only Red Flowers Bloom: Identity and Belonging in Xi Jinping's China. Through a compelling blend of personal anecdotes and broader societal critiques, Fang explores the multifaceted nature of Chinese identity amidst the tightening grip of the Communist Party. In her review, Jessie Lau recounts a poignant encounter with a friend named Yesha in Beijing, whose journey of navigating her identity as a Tibetan in a Han-majority society mirrors the struggles of many minorities in China. Their conversations, steeped in shared experiences of cultural erasure and the longing for acceptance, set the stage for a broader exploration of what it means to be Chinese under Xi Jinping's regime. Lau's narrative encapsulates the essence of Fang's work, illustrating how individuals from politically sensitive regions grapple with their identities in a country that increasingly seeks to homogenize them. Fang delves into the Chinese Communist Party's CCP fixation on national unity. Driven by fears of internal dissent reminiscent of the Soviet Union's collapse, the author's journalistic background enriches her analysis as she traces the historical context of identity politics in China. Through the arc of her book, Fang introduces readers to figures like Yang Bin, a human rights lawyer whose career reflects the ebb and flow of legal and political freedoms in the country. Yang's story serves as a microcosm of the weeklong, or rights defense movement, highlighting the precarious balance between activism and authoritarianism. The book provides a vivid tableau of characters who embody the struggles against state repression. From a victim of the state's draconian policies to an influencer navigating the complexities of modern Chinese society, Feng's narratives paint a comprehensive picture of life on the margins. The author's ability to weave personal stories with larger political themes creates a tapestry that is both engaging and enlightening. One of the most gripping sections of the book focuses on the plight of ethnic minorities, particularly the Uyghurs and Tibetans who face systemic oppression under state policies designed to enforce conformity. The heartbreaking story of Abdul Latif, a Uyghur man searching for his family in Xinjiang's detention camps, starkly illustrates the human cost of the CCP's assimilationist agenda. With an estimated 1 in 26 Uyghurs imprisoned, Feng provides crucial statistics that underscore the urgency of these issues, drawing attention to the international community's waning awareness of the situation. Lau's reflection on her friendship with Yesha serves as a microcosm of the broader identity crisis faced by many Chinese citizens. The disparity in their experiences, Lau's privilege as a Hong Konger with British citizenship versus Yesha's marginalized status, highlights the deeply entrenched inequalities that persist within the narrative of a unified Chinese identity. Yesha's poignant question, "We're all Chinese, aren't we?" resonates as a haunting reminder of the struggles for recognition and respect that many individuals continue to face. Feng's exploration extends beyond just the narrative of repression to encompass the complexities of identity in regions like Hong Kong and Taiwan, where the negotiation of cultural autonomy persists amidst pressures to conform to a singular national identity. The final chapters of the book encapsulate this messiness, offering insights into the layered identities of Chinese citizens as they navigate the challenges posed by both their government and global perceptions. Concluding her review, Lau reflects on the lingering questions surrounding the future of Chinese identity and the potential for change. As the world watches China grapple with its internal contradictions, the narratives shared in Feng's book remind us of the resilience of individuals who continue to seek their place in a society that often seeks to define them. The hope remains that one day, like her friend Yesha, they may find acceptance in a landscape that celebrates diversity rather than suppresses it. As we look ahead, the discourse surrounding Chinese identity will undoubtedly evolve, shaped by the very individuals striving for recognition within a state that has historically sought to limit their expression. In an era marked by escalating tensions and shifting alliances, the recent visit of Chinese President Xi Jinping to Cambodia has underscored the deepening ties between the two nations. As Cambodia doubles down on its partnership with China, the implications of this alliance extend beyond regional cooperation, signaling a pivotal moment in the geopolitical landscape of Asia and beyond. During Xi's visit, which took place on April 20, 2025, the leaders of both countries reaffirmed their commitment to strengthening bilateral relations, particularly in areas such as trade, infrastructure development, and cultural exchange. This visit comes at a time when Cambodia under Prime Minister Hun Sen has increasingly aligned itself with Beijing, seeking economic growth and investment to boost its development. China has been a steadfast partner for Cambodia, providing support that has been crucial for our country's development, Hun Sen remarked during a joint press conference with Xi. The relationship between Cambodia and China has flourished amidst a backdrop of rising tensions between the United States and China, as well as growing scrutiny of Cambodia's human rights record. The Chinese government has positioned itself as a counterbalance to Western influence in the region, offering Cambodia substantial investments through initiatives like the Belt and Road Initiative (BRI). This ambitious program aims to enhance connectivity and trade across Asia, and Cambodia is seen as a critical node in this strategy. However, the strengthening of ties between Phnom Penh and Beijing raises concerns among critics who fear that Cambodia's sovereignty could be compromised. Observers have noted that while the economic benefits are apparent, the political implications of such an alliance may lead to increased Chinese influence in Cambodian affairs. Cambodia must tread carefully to ensure that its national interests are not overshadowed by its dependence on China, cautioned political analyst Safalir. As the U.S. continues to grapple with its own foreign policy in the Asia-Pacific region, the growing Sino-Cambodian relationship could be seen as a challenge to American influence. The U.S. has historically been a significant player in Southeast Asia, and the potential for a new Cold War dynamic is becoming more pronounced. The recent tensions have prompted the U.S. to reconsider its strategies, with Secretary of State Antony Blinken emphasizing the need for a united front among allies to counter China's assertiveness. The geopolitical ramifications extend beyond Cambodia, affecting neighboring nations and global trade routes. Analysts suggest that as China expands its economic reach, it is also reshaping alliances and strategic investments across the continent. The implications of this shift are profound, with countries like Vietnam and Thailand closely monitoring the developments. Southeast Asia is at a crossroads, and how countries navigate their relationships with both the U.S. and China will be critical in the coming years, said regional expert Chiang Vanarath. Moreover, the historical context of this partnership cannot be overlooked. China's resurgence has been framed by its leaders in the context of the century of humiliation during which foreign powers exploited and oppressed China. Xi's rhetoric often emphasizes national rejuvenation and sovereignty, appealing to a sense of pride among Chinese citizens. This narrative resonates in Cambodia, where historical grievances against colonialism and foreign interference are similarly prevalent. As the world watches, the outcomes of this burgeoning partnership will have far-reaching consequences. The potential for increased investment in infrastructure, education and technology could bolster Cambodia's economy, but it could also lead to greater dependency on China. In the coming months and years, the balance between economic cooperation and national sovereignty will be a delicate one for Cambodia as it navigates its relationship with a rising superpower while balancing the expectations of its traditional allies. In conclusion, Xi Jinping's visit to Cambodia marks a significant step in the evolving dynamics of international relations in Asia. As Cambodia embraces its partnership with China, the implications resonate far beyond its borders, reflecting broader trends in global geopolitics. The interplay between economic opportunity and political autonomy will shape the future of both nations and could redefine the landscape of Southeast Asia in the years to come. As tensions simmer between major powers, the world will be watching closely to see how this partnership unfolds and what it means for the balance of power in the region. In a rapidly evolving global landscape marked by geopolitical tensions and economic shifts, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the People's Republic of China held a regular press conference on April 21, 2025, where spokesperson Gui Jiaquan addressed several pressing international issues. The conference highlighted China's diplomatic interactions, responses to foreign sanctions, and its stance on regional conflicts, all of which underscore its strategic positioning on the world stage. One of the key announcements was the upcoming state visit of Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev to China. Gui emphasized the importance of this visit, stating, "China and Azerbaijan are strategic partners." He noted that the relationship has flourished under the leadership of both nations' presidents, marked by deepening political trust and successful cooperation under the Belt and Road Initiative. The visit is expected to further solidify this partnership, with discussions planned between President Xi Jinping and President Aliyev centered on enhancing bilateral relations and fostering economic ties. In a significant turn of events, Gui also addressed the recent sanctions imposed by the United States on several Chinese officials linked to Hong Kong. He condemned these sanctions as a severe interference in China's domestic affairs and reaffirmed that Hong Kong-related matters are strictly internal to China. Gui's remarks made it clear that retaliatory measures from China would follow, emphasizing the country's commitment to safeguarding its sovereignty. "Hong Kong is China's Hong Kong, and Hong Kong affairs brook no U.S. interference," he declared. The issue of international security was also a focal point, particularly with respect to the recent escalation of violence in various regions. Gui welcomed Russian President Vladimir Putin's call for a ceasefire during the Easter period, expressing optimism that dialogue and negotiation could lead to a resolution of ongoing conflicts. Reflecting on the broader implications of security challenges, he reiterated China's commitment to the Global Security Initiative (GSI), which aims to promote peace and cooperation among nations. Was comments extended to a recent attack on a Chinese-owned hydroelectric plant in Chile where a gunman set fire to construction equipment. He condemned the attack and called on Chilean authorities to ensure the safety of Chinese investments, indicating China's proactive approach to protecting its overseas interests. The ministry spokesperson also expressed congratulations to Gabon's interim president Brice Clotaire Oligui Nguema following successful presidential elections, reaffirming China's intention to deepen its cooperative ties with Gabon. This aligns with China's broader strategy of enhancing its influence in Africa through diplomatic engagement and infrastructure investment. On the contentious topic of maritime rights, Nguema responded to concerns raised by South Korea regarding China's installation of a large steel platform in contested waters. He reiterated China's position that these actions do not violate existing agreements and urged South Korea to adopt a more objective perspective on the situation. As tensions simmer in the South China Sea, Nguema expressed disapproval of the recent military exercises conducted by the U.S. and the Philippines, characterizing them as detrimental to regional stability. He underscored China's opposition to any military provocations related to Taiwan, asserting that such actions threaten peace in the region. In a notable development, reports surfaced regarding allegations of Chinese nationals attempting to smuggle military equipment out of Russia. While China officially denies any involvement in the Ukrainian conflict, these allegations raise concerns about the complexities of its relationships in the region and the potential implications for international security. Looking ahead, the Chinese government appears poised to navigate these multifaceted challenges by reinforcing its diplomatic ties and pursuing a vision of cooperative global governance through initiatives like the GSI. As the geopolitical landscape continues to shift, China's engagement with both traditional allies and emerging partners will be crucial in shaping the future of international relations. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs remains steadfast in its commitment to fostering a world characterized by mutual respect and cooperation, even as it contends with the realities of a complex global environment. As the geopolitical landscape continues to shift, Chinese President Xi Jinping's recent tour of Southeast Asia serves as a crucial indicator of the region's evolving dynamics in the face of escalating tensions with the United States. During his week-long visit to Vietnam, Malaysia and Cambodia, Xi not only received a grand reception but also conveyed a significant message of unity and resistance against protectionist policies, particularly those emanating from Washington. The visit, which saw Xi greeted with honors ranging from children waving flags in Hanoi to a 21-gun salute in Kuala Lumpur, was underpinned by a clear objective: to galvanize regional support against the rising tide of U.S. tariffs and unilateral trade actions. In each stop, Xi emphasized the importance of standing firm against what he termed unilateral bullying and urged for a collective response to safeguard the multilateral trading system. In Cambodia, he articulated that trade wars jeopardized the very fabric of international trade, signaling an intent to position China as a counterbalance to American economic policies. Dylan Low, an assistant professor at Singapore's Nanyang Technological University, noted the main message that was being sent is that China will be the counterbalance to America's protectionism. While America is not often named, the message is quite clear. This sentiment encapsulates the broader ambition of Xi's tour, which seeks to strengthen ties with Southeast Asian nations that are increasingly caught in the crosshairs of U.S.-China tensions. The backdrop of Xi's visit is the ongoing U.S.-China trade war, which has seen both nations imposing tariffs that have disrupted global supply chains and economic growth. The International Monetary Fund (IMF) estimates that the U.S. and China together constitute 43% of the global economy, underscoring the potential fallout from an escalating trade conflict. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi criticized the U.S. tariff hikes as unjustified, warning of significant repercussions for global markets and the credibility of Washington's leadership. As Xi consolidates China's influence in Southeast Asia, the implications of his visit extend beyond mere diplomatic gestures. China has already begun to redirect its trade flows utilizing Southeast Asian nations as conduits to circumvent American tariffs. The U.S. Department of Commerce reported that Chinese manufacturers had shifted assembly operations to countries such as Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam to avoid tariffs, further entrenching economic ties within the region. While the U.S. continues to exert pressure on its trading partners to isolate China, the response from Southeast Asian countries has been varied. Many nations still grappling with economic development and poverty are keen to forge stronger trade relationships with China. Xi's visit signifies a pivotal moment where these countries may increasingly view China as a vital economic partner, particularly as the U.S. imposes stricter tariffs and conditions on trade. The trade war has also had tangible impacts on American businesses, particularly tech giants like Apple, which has seen its market value decline in response to tariff uncertainties. The U.S. tariffs also threaten to disrupt the supply of essential minerals that China refines, potentially leading to retaliatory measures that could exacerbate the economic conflict. Looking ahead, the trajectory of U.S.-China relations will likely continue to shape the economic landscape of Southeast Asia. As China positions itself as a leader in the region, the implications for global trade dynamics could be profound, with Xi's visit reinforcing the notion of a united front against U.S. protectionism. The future may see a more entrenched economic relationship between China and Southeast Asian nations, potentially reshaping the power balances in the region. As the situation evolves, it remains to be seen how the United States will respond to these developments. The increasing alignment of Southeast Asian countries with China poses significant challenges for American foreign policy, which may need to recalibrate its approach to maintain relevance in a rapidly changing global order.